What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Happy Thursday to each and every one of you. Europa League Thursday, you know, not the night of the week that we want to be playing, but it is what it is. You know, I would like to think that while we're playing on a Thursday, we can hopefully lift the trophy, and then next year, obviously, we start thinking about Champions League and all that, people. But big up to each and every one of you for tuning in. Hopefully we go 3-point collecting tonight. PSV here at the Emirates, actually, under the lights. And, hopefully only one more year of going through that. I can't lie, people. And just as we go live, actually, Liz Truss, the UK Prime Minister, has resigned, you know. Trust the process. That's what they were saying. But Liz Truss gone, brethren. So, yeah, the UK's all over the place, man. The pound's dropping. It's all mad, people. The Prime Minister's gone. It's all mad. But anyway, let's concentrate on football. Let's not get too caught up in that. Yeah, she took the bag and ran before they came for her. Appreciate everyone who tuned in last night for the watch-along. Manchester United against Tottenham. I have to say, that was up there for me again as one of the worst watch-alongs I've had to do this season. And listen, let me give some credit to Man United, because at least they turned up, played on the front foot and tried to win the game. Tottenham, listen, there's no love lost between Tottenham and Arsenal. So no Tottenham fan is going to expect me to be complimentary of them. But the football they play is absolutely horrendous. It's horrendous. Now, if you win big trophies and you play like that, as a fan base, you would have to accept it. But if they don't win nothing, that football is next level. And I'm a big fan of Conte. You know, I liked Conte. I wanted him at Arsenal at one stage. Let me not even cap. But damn, that football is terrible to watch, man. They're making Kane and Son look like the worst players I've ever seen. But anyway, that's their problem. They was a mess. Hugo Lloris, you know, he might need therapy, you know, after what he had to deal with last night. God, boy, they were shooting at him from everywhere. I can't lie. But, yeah, man, listen, I think a draw would have been the ideal result for Arsenal. But if somebody had to win, I would have preferred Man United to win. That's 2 defeats now for Tottenham in the last couple of weeks after we slapped them. Stand up if you hate Tottenham. Why not? Let's stand up quick, people. Shamak is my hero. Said, love that the streams are back on a regular basis. Darren said, big up Curtis in the community. Let's go match day settings. You think Conte will go next summer? I'm telling you now, people, I think Conte, if Allegri gets sacked by Juventus, I think they'll offer him the job. And I don't think he would be against taking the job, to be honest. I can't lie, people. But anyway, let's move. Big up Jacob, who said best show on YouTube. Make sure you lick the like button. Shaz said he's 7th in the Fantasy League. Big up to you, bro. Expressions called Larissa lifeguard. Oh, man, it's crazy. Big up X, man. It was a tough night at the office for him, but I have to admit, you know, I kind of enjoyed it. It was good fun to watch in the end. Tobe's 4 a.m. video, I see him. Man was in the dark. He said he don't even deserve to put the light on. Anyway, let's look ahead. Arsenal against PSV, Europa League settings tonight. Cody Gakpo audition. I know, interestingly enough, he's being linked again today with a potential move to Manchester United. Yesterday, they were saying, now Manchester United have signed Anthony, that he probably won't go to Manchester United. Today, the story is revolving around Cristiano Ronaldo. Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo left with 4 minutes to go, walked off the touchline. They're now saying today that Ronaldo will leave in January and that Cody Gakpo could go to Manchester United. So, are we going to be able to get Cody Gakpo to the carpet is the question. Tonight is the best audition for Gakpo to prove what he is about. Ronaldo to Arsenal, I'd take him. I would actually take him. I can't lie. 1 year of Ronnie. You know, we nearly signed him all them years ago. But no, it will never happen, of course. But Cody Gakpo, listen, I'm sure you've heard and read this interview before. It is what it is. They all say this, and most of them don't sign for us anyway. So it doesn't really, make me get hyped. Cody Gakpo said, I'm a tall winger. When you look for tall wingers, there aren't so many. So a few years ago, I started watching Thierry Henry and tried to learn something from him. The way he comes in from the left and shoots with his right, I tried to copy him a bit. And I think he said that he was like his idol when he was growing up. I mean, again, does it mean much? Robert Lewandowski said he had posters of Thierry Henry on his wall. Did we ever get Lewandowski? No, we didn't. So it doesn't particularly mean much, if I'm being totally honest. But listen, it's an audition for him. I don't care what anyone said. This is basically, X Factor tonight, American Idol, Pop Idol, whatever it's called. The stage is set. If he turns up and rips people apart tonight, then we need to look at him, I think. Maybe we'll have the conversation while you're at the ground. Do you remember Manchester United apparently signed Cristiano Ronaldo after they played a friendly against them? They didn't leave the stadium until the deal was done. If he rips us apart tonight, we need to have a conversation. Durandi said, big up to you, bro. He said, hi, a PSV fan here, just spying on our opponent. Hey, don't you worry, my friend. Don't you worry. Just have a look at that Premier League table. We're pretty high up, so just have a look for us. That's all the spying you'll need to do. But listen, fair play to you for tuning in. Big up everyone on YouTube and on Twitch locked in. PSV, a big club. I'm sure they're going to sell out their away section tonight. And good history. And Ruud van Nistelrooy obviously is the manager. So I'm sure he will get an interesting reception, shall we say, at the Emirates. So after, Ruud van Nistelrooy's history with Arsenal. Carabo said, I think he'll go to Man U because Man U pays every amount. Yeah, that's the issue. If we're being honest, if Arsenal and Man United come in for Gakpo, he probably goes to Man United. For the simple fact that, Ten Hag, obviously a manager who's worked in the Dutch league, he will have known him, he'll have seen him close up. And as you said, Man United don't play when it comes to paying. They're not on no Klarna business. This ain't layaway. They ain't doing what we do on Pepe. Oh, we'll buy you over 7 years, They drop the bag and keep it moving, Liz Truss to Wolves. Here we go, man. Fabrizio Romano. Liz Trust the process, they said. It's country mashup, people, I tell you. People ring me sometimes and chat about this country. Go, oh, inflation, electricity's going up. Oh, we're going to hit a recession. I say, listen, it don't change much when you're in a certain situation, what really changes? Can you honestly say that when Labour was in charge, you was living great? And then Conservatives came and it got 10 times worse? No, it's all the same to me. It's all the same. They're all trying to take money out your pocket and that's it. Just make sure you handle your business, people. Liz Trust, what's the name? Boris. It's all the same thing, man. I don't buy into all that. Prime Minister resigned already. Too much pressure. They said she's in talks with Wolves. M4 said, I think we are still top of the league come I think if we are still top of the league come January and United are out of the top 4, I think then we have advantage in signing players. Possibly. You got to think Van Nistelrooy is probably going to push him towards Man United as well. So that's another position where it may not work for us. Durandi said PSV won against big Premier League sides before. That was during the early 2000s. Hopefully we'll get something like those times. We defeated Man United 3-1 and Arsenal 1-0 when they had Thierry Henry. Listen, man, like I said, I've said this a few times. I think the Europa League will begin for Arsenal tonight. No disrespect to Zurich and Bodo Glimt, but there was no glamour in them ties. I think PSV now, this is the first game we're playing against a team that does have history. No disrespect, as I said, to the other two clubs, but it's a team that's been in the Champions League, that they're going to bring a lot of fans over here. I think this is the beginning of our Europa League journey tonight, people. I got to be honest. And I do think Arsenal are going to have to play quite a strong team to try and get the victory to get us through. If we win tonight, we've pretty much won the group Bearing in mind, that'll give us PSV away and Zurich at home, and we'll only need one win to win the group. Zurich are terrible. We'll beat them at home quite easily. So that if we win tonight, we've practically won the group, which means we can rotate for the next couple of games. Jay Alex said, 100% agree, Curtis. Two sides of the same coin, these political parties. The only time, in my opinion, and sorry to go off topic here, we're here to talk about football, but the only time that you favour certain political parties in the government is when you're relying on the government. When you're relying on them for, I don't know, some sort of welfare or benefit, and, but if you're just handling your business, that's why I always tell people, handle your business. Don't rely on the government. Don't rely, because they ain't going to look after you people. And that's the way it is, unfortunately. Jake Hammond said, Curtis, the 3 p.m. blackout in the Premier League and EFL could be scrapped. I think they're still opposing the Premier League one. That's the problem, It's ridiculous. I've always said, and again, I'm going off topic, but in this day and age, right, you can go on Netflix and watch whatever you want if it's on there, right? You can go on Sky, catch up, whatever, right? If you want to watch a certain film, you can go somewhere now, type it in and watch it, right? Old film, new film, whatever. I should be able to go through something or go on the Arsenal website or go through a company and buy something where I can watch every single Arsenal game on TV. 3 p.m, 7 p.m, whatever. I want to watch my team play every single week. How come when I go to the Caribbean on holiday, I'm watching 3 p.m. kickoffs? I'm in America, I'm watching 3 p.m. kickoffs. But when I'm in England and the ground's round the corner, I can't watch it on TV at 3 o'clock. I've got streams buffering. You know what I mean? It's all going mad. We're living in the Stone Age when it comes to this football. How come I have to get Amazon Prime, BT Sport, Sky Sports? I got to get a VPN service. I got to get super fast internet. Let me just pay my money to watch my team play every week. I don't really want to watch Brentford against Brighton on Friday night on Sky Sports. I'm not that interested. It's a joke, people. It's a joke. And the people need to get smart to it. I'm telling you. I'm as guilty as anybody. I got to be honest. I'm a consumer for it as well. But it's a shambles in this day and age. Your team's on TV, you can't watch them. It makes no sense. Rishab said, big up, Curtis. Always looking forward to your shows. Watching from Mauritius. We have a huge Arsenal fan base here. Big up to you, bro. I know Kevin Campbell's doing a lot of work over there as well. So big up. M4, Curtis, you mentioned in the summer about a convo you overheard in Orlando about Yuri Tillemans. Do you think this is a January move? I think we need him. Xhaka Partey and Tillemans will be perfect. Yeah, like I said, staff member there told me that Tillemans was coming to Arsenal. It never happened, so I take it with a pinch of salt. But there was a story in the summer going around that Arsenal would wait until January or the summer to get him at a reduced price, which, penny pinching doesn't often get you where you need to get. But I think Arsenal, will they go for him in January if they can get him really cheap? If not, I think they will wait until the summer and try and get him on a free. Listen, we 100% need a midfielder. Anthony said PSV are a serious club. Let's not forget Romario and R9 did bits there before joining Barca. So Bobby and Van Gaal were greats. Listen, R9, as you know, my favourite footballer of all time. He went there and ripped that place to bits before the Barcelona move. So, yeah, you have to respect these clubs and their legacy. But big up for the super chat, Anthony. I appreciate that. Jake said, True can get Premier League on the US network. It's not right. They do a local blackout on you over there. Because if you're watching it on TV, you won't come to the ground. So when Arsenal played Liverpool last week, 4 o'clock, Sky Sports, everyone has access to that in the UK. Was the ground half empty? No, it was a sellout. You couldn't get a ticket for it. So it's a complete nonsense that they think if the game's on TV, they won't be able to sell out the stadium. It's crazy. Josh said, spot on, mate. I only want to watch Arsenal and United get beaten. Hey, calm down, Josh. Don't come in letting the clip off straight away. Elliot said, Curtis, you're missing out. I wake up to Arsenal on TV from the bedside in Toronto. Fair play, man. Fair play. MD said, Curtis slowly turning into Martin Luther King. Listen, I have to just drop them little bits of info and knowledge, man, and have these discussions because it's a shambles. It is a shambles. You're paying all this money and you can't watch half of these games. It's wild. Premier League been slacking for time. Imagine if they cancelled all these channels, did their own subscription service for like £10, serious cash flow from around the world. They're missing an absolute trick. Fire stick. Hey, listen, do what you have to do, people. I respect it. Inflation is real, man. Look after yourself. If you have to cut some corners, man. Do what you need to do. Curtis for PM. They won't want me as PM, I'm telling you. Marcel said, big up Curtis. Rude said he will get a warm welcome at the Emirates. Yeah, we'll see about that one. We will see about that one. Anyway, let's move on. Gakpo, we'll see how he gets on. Interesting game for him tonight. Let's do a little bit of transfer news. One potential incoming and a discussion around somebody being linked with a move away. Which is not a story that you're going to want to read. But let's talk about potential incoming. Now, SR Collins has put out this story this morning. Arsenal targeted Lisandro Martinez last summer before he joined Manchester United, while Calvin Bassey, who joined Ajax, was discussed internally before his move. Mikel Arteta is still seeking to strengthen his defence either in January or next summer. Eintracht Frankfurt defender Evan Ndicka has emerged as a transfer option for Arsenal in their attempts to find a left-sided centre-back. The 23-year-old is out of contract at the end of the season, and Frankfurt could be tempted to sell in January. Now, ain't it interesting that Arsenal, desperate for a centre midfielder, I would say pretty desperate for a right winger, and we're probably going to end up buying a centre-back. It was always Arsenal, you know. Wenger needed a defensive midfielder for about 5 years, and he just bought number 10s and wingers every single summer, you know. Haleb, Rosicki. We're like, yo, we need a Gilberto replacement. Yeah, okay, I've signed Alexander Haleb to play more great football. But yeah, we need somebody that can tackle and protect the back four. Yeah, don't worry, Santi Cazorla's it. It would be so typical of Arsenal. Desperate for a centre mid, and we buy a centre back. Ndicka, got to be totally honest, hardly seen this guy play. Did the YouTube look. In fact, he's had a lot of good informs on FIFA. That's one thing I will say. But I honestly haven't hardly seen this guy play. I believe he's a French player. Not sure if he's even a full international. Listen, in an ideal world, a left-sided centre-back, I'll take it. I would take it, right, if he's decent. I think we do need another centre-back and somebody that can push Gabriel. I think we could do with a right back. I think we could do with a striker. I think we could do with a centre mid and a right winger. So I think we're probably 5 players away from where we need to be. I would just say, though, in this transfer window, I don't think the centre back is a bigger priority than centre mid. I think we're desperate for a centre midfielder. I don't think we're desperate for a centre back. Now, the interesting thing, you make a good point here, Moses, saying he's really good. Sorry, somebody else said there. We can obviously offer him a pre-contract, Machego. We can offer him a pre-contract and sign him in the summer. So it could be a case of Arsenal offering him a good contract in the summer to bring him in on a free next season. So that one may make more sense. 23 years of age, left-sided centre-back, not going to command a huge transfer fee. It fits the profile that Arsenal are looking for. Anybody in the comments, have you seen him play a little bit? Do you know much about him? Like, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert. Again, I think I've seen him once in terms of a full 90 minutes. And I wasn't actually watching him in that game. I was watching them play against someone else. I've done some YouTube looking this morning, but, you know, even Sonogo looked good on YouTube when we signed him. But has anybody seen him play? Does anybody have any info on him? How good do you think he is? If he's a left-sided centre-back, is he far away from Gabriel? Do you think he could be better than him? And what do you think? He's amazing on YouTube. Let's see. M4 said centre mid winger or striker would make a priority in January. Centre back can wait till next summer. Totally agree. B-Tech Upper Meccano. King Henry said Evan Ndicka is a baller. We need to take him. Him and Saliba is the future of France centre backs. Seen him a few times live in Eintracht game. His salary is 8.3k per week. I mean, there you go. He's going to be absolute easy for us to. We can drop 40 grand on him. He'll be all over that. And 40 grand at Arsenal is pocket change. Gunnar Graham said, I'm amazing on YouTube. With a little bit of editing, we can make everyone look good on YouTube. But he has got good reports. And this could be an interesting one. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about Lissandro now at Manchester United, who's really settled in. And I think, you know, some people are going, oh, now we can sort of see why Arsenal did go for him in the summer. And generally, it looks as if we're still looking for another centre-back. He obviously wants 4 natural centre-backs at the club to accommodate all the competition we've got. He plays for France. He's played for France under 20s, but never at full international level. He's played 10 games this year, played 34 last year. 4 goals, 4 assists last season in the Bundesliga from centre-back. Not bad, to be honest, for a centre-back. To be fair, even Curtis is good on YouTube. Paul, you know, I'm going to take a sip because you've just come on here and let off the whole clip. I feel like 50 Cent shot 9 times, people. Paul, they don't need to edit anything on YouTube. Maybe the bit where I fell over in the Claude Cup final. But apart from that, most of the time the ball's hitting the back of the net. So, Paul, appreciate that. It should be worth a timeout, but you made me laugh, so I'm gonna run with it. I'll go with it. I'll go with it, Paul. Paul, that one can go. That one's passed through the net. You know, I don't mind that one. He can also play left back as well. Listen, it makes sense. It makes sense for Arsenal to look at him. If he is good, I'm not gonna stick my name to him and say, oh, we should buy him. I don't really know how good he is, to be honest. You know, Sam said, now I see why Arteta didn't buy Basuma. To be honest, though, I think it's difficult to judge Basuma, number one, off the way. Look at the way Tottenham are playing. We watched them last night in that watch-along. Tell me one player, apart from Hugo Lloris, that looked good on that pitch. You know, Harry Kane looked like Ricky Lambert last night. You know, they were a shambles. He's playing for a team that doesn't want to attack, and they don't keep the ball. So I'm not going to write him off. We watched him for 2 seasons at Brighton get better and better and better. It's Conte tax, I'm afraid. That's the Conte tax on Basuma. He wanted to come to Arsenal, so we can't blame him. Man was putting up posts on his Twitter and that saying, I want to join Arsenal. We didn't want to pay for him, so no, we can't diss him. Neil said, ideally, we all want the club to strengthen the midfield and wing position. Sometimes a player comes available you can't miss out on. It's a good point. If he's a really good player and they can get him for cheap now, then yeah, if they can't get the midfielder. Man said Harry Payne, you know. Harry Payne, I'm telling you. Ricky Kane Lambert last night. That brother, he was all over the place. Bentoncourt, along with Lloris, others pathetic. Basuma is unhappy at Tottenham. His performance is reflecting that. You go to a club where the style doesn't suit your style of play, you weren't getting picked, the manager doesn't truly believe in you, and the football's horrible. It's difficult to shine. It really is. The only players who really look good in the Tottenham team are the front 3 because they're allowed to stay high up the pitch. The rest of them, you're just trying to win the ball back. The Daily Express are saying we are looking for a wide forward and centre mid in January, said Fitz. And I hope so. That's what we need, in my opinion. But Evan and Dicker, if you know much about him, let us know in the comments, people. Looks as if we're looking at him potentially for January. And like you're saying, sometimes you can sit there and say, right, we're going to go for a centre-back in the summer. And then something falls on your lap. Listen, this is a guy that we would take in the summer, but you might be able to get him for £10 million now. And you say to yourself, look, that wasn't part of the plan, but we're going to take him now. It's like Liverpool. Klopp said their plan was to buy Luis Diaz in the summer transfer window. But then Tottenham agreed a fee with his club. Liverpool had to accelerate the deal by 6 months to avoid him going elsewhere. So we'll see. I think January is going to be an interesting window because I don't think we can get away with not signing anybody. That's my only worry. I hope that we're not getting caught up in the fact that, you know, sometimes with Arsenal, you used to worry under Wenger and think, if we were winning games, he won't sign anyone. If we're winning, he won't sign anyone. I just hope that Arteta doesn't fall for that same thing. Well, we're flying, we're top of the league, let's not buy anyone. Nah, go and get players, strengthen this squad, push us on to that next level. Shelby said his dream signings: Milinkovic-Savic, Caicedo, Leroy Sané. Make it happen. Curtis, start making your calls. I would love to get Leroy Sané. I think when we were linked with him in the summer, and I spoke about him a few times, the Arsenal fan base were a bit 50-50 on him because of his major injury, and he didn't look quite as good. He's having a brilliant season this year, so I think it'll be very difficult to get him out of Bayern Munich. They're not a club that sells easily, especially when you're playing. Lumi said a bit of out of context, but we should have kept Ainsley. He was a good utility player. I think Ainsley was at a point he didn't want to stay. Ainsley said, listen, I'm sick of being a backup dancer here, filling in at right back, wing back, centre mid. He wants to play football. Southampton, he's been playing lately. So, you know, he come through Hale End as well. So I think he wanted regular football. King Wiz said Paul needs a timeout, 3 minutes. I let him slide, man. I let him get away with that one, you know. It's a good one. I don't mind that. I don't mind. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on, people. Now, you're not going to enjoy this story. I'm giving you all the warning before we even get it on the screen. It's a painful one. I hope it doesn't happen. And let's hope it's just paper talk. But we knew this kind of story was going to start happening. Sun Sport reporting, apologies, coming out the Sun. Never trust them as a great source, but sometimes they are. PSG are interested in signing Arsenal's William Saliba. The French club have already established contacts with a view to a possible transfer. Now, I've read this whole story, and it's interesting. There are a few elements to it. Now, like Ben's saying, PSG and Marseille are huge rivals. He went on loan to Marseille. Would he go to PSG? I think he would. Going to be totally honest, I think he would. That's not me saying that he will, but I don't think that loan would stop him going there. Now, PSG tried to sell Kimpembe in the summer to Chelsea, but Chelsea signed Koulibaly instead. I don't particularly rate Kimpembe. I think he's a clumsy centre-back. But they're looking for a long-term partner to play next to Marquinhos. Of course, the best team in the French league right now are not going to ignore one of the best young French centre-backs in world football. We got to be careful. We have to be careful. He's got to sign the new contract sooner rather than later. Now, I've got to be honest. Everything that I'm reading is more that Saka is going to sign the new contract very soon. There's not too much saying that. They're saying that Saliba's happy at the club. He's called it his home. But there's not too many stories saying that the contract is close. It's all like they're talking, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what happens. So, we'll have to see. Somebody just put there in the comments, he's from Bondy, which is in the northeastern suburbs of Paris. So, first of all, he's a Parisian boy. So, PSG, listen, I don't want to cause anybody any kind of worry. It's match day. We're chilling. Somebody said 100 million plus Mbappe. I think Mbappe and him are good friends, actually. I think Saliba is happy at Arsenal. I think he's focused on moving forward with Arsenal. I don't think he's desperate to leave. I think he always wanted to prove himself in the Premier League. What I would say to Arsenal, and what I always say, build from a position of strength. At the moment, we're top of the Prem. We're playing good football. This guy is in the French squad. There's no particular reason for him to leave if we put the right contract offer on the table, right? Put the right contract offer on the table. Don't turn up there with 100 grand. That ain't going to cut it probably if you got Nketiah on 100 bags. Pay him what he owes. Get the contract signed sooner rather than later. I'm not trying to worry anyone. What I'm saying is Arsenal have to beware that people are in the background looking. They are looking. He does have only a year left on his contract this summer, like South London's Finest saying. It was reported in The Athletic yesterday. He doesn't have another year extension on top of that. There's no option. His contract expires 2024 summer. So from this summer, 1 year left, alarm bells. This contract has to be signed now, sooner rather than later. A lot of people saying, he loved Arsenal. He was an Arsenal fan growing up, blah, blah, blah. Cool, I hear all that. But money talks. Messi, Mbappe, Neymar at PSG. He's born in Paris. He's friends with Mbappe. Somebody said they went to school together there. I don't know how true that is, but I'll take your word for it. We have to be careful. The player and agent are in control, Mike, because the contract is short now. So the club don't have the power. The club are going to have to give him what he wants. So let's see. There is no option to extend. There isn't. He didn't have an option. His contract runs out June the 30th, summer 2024. So he'll have a year left this summer. They got to get that deal done quickly. And he holds the aces right now. Guna Colt, Curtis, I think we all forget Arsenal and Edu know better than you or anyone on this channel what it takes and who is lurking. Sometimes though, Guna Colt, I got to be honest. Sometimes they don't know what clubs are lurking. Sometimes clubs will have those discussions away from these people. So I understand what you're saying. Yeah, Edu knows, but did Edu know what Rafinha was doing? Because he told us we went for Rafinha, but did he know that Barcelona were lurking in the background? Probably not. Everyone thought Barcelona were broke. Vlahovic, we spent months trying to get him. Did he know that he was going to Juventus? Probably. I don't know. Did he? Did he not? Why did you waste so much time trying to get him if you couldn't get him? So, at the end of the day, I like the fact that people are very confident and saying he loves Arsenal, he won't leave. We still can't rest on our laurels and just think, he loves Arsenal, he's going nowhere. That kind of attitude can leave you, empty-handed. But listen, I think he'll sign a new contract. Give him the right amount of money. I think if you give him upwards of 100k, 120, 140, somewhere like that, I think it will be fine. But I would like to see him sign that contract before he goes to the World Cup. I'm going to be totally honest. Because if he does play for France, then his value is only going to go up. Raul said he is from Paris. Let's be real. Who can blame him if he wants to play with Mbappe, Messi? He don't know anything to Arteta and Arsenal. PSG will always be in the Champions League. Mbappe's on $1 million a week after tax. I wouldn't mind surviving on that. We need Champions League, end of. And that's another point. He could be saying, you know what, let's wait till the summer. Let me see what competition we're in first. Then I'll sign the deal. So we just don't know what's being said. Fraser said, I won't say he loves Arsenal, but like the rest of us professionally, he's likely loyal to the highest bidder. So let's see what happens. DV said, to be fair, Edu did say in an interview he spoke with Deco, so he knew he was going to Barca all along. I think it was more they weren't sure whether Barcelona could get the money for Rafinha. I think they knew all along that he wanted Barcelona. Sean said PSG is an easy life for a footballer. The man is an Arsenal fan. He's living the life of a tormented man. Interesting look on it. Edu knew about Willian. Yeah, yeah, he knew about Willian as well. Yeah, we've signed Willian, people. Okay, how did that one work out? He also signed Pablo Mari as well and Cedric. So he's done some good ones. He's done some bad ones. We signed Alex Renarson as well. Let's not forget them ones. Make sure you smash the like, people. 1,500 of you in the chat now. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, all of that good stuff. And let's hope, Saliba's contract gets tied up sooner rather than later. I am hearing that Saka's is very close to being completed. Elliot said he needs that new 150 or else alarm bells ringing at the Emirates. They can't afford to let him go. Yeah, Lokonga, Willian, Renarson, Cedric, Pablo Mari. There's been a few live ones as well that have gone, that have stunk out the place a little bit. Let's keep it 100. They ain't all been top quality sidings, Man United wanted Gakpo in the summer. They will buy him in January. It sounds as if Ronaldo goes, then that could be the potential replacement. Yesterday, it sounded like we had a bit of a free run at him. Anyway, press conference reaction, Mikel Arteta. Obviously, the press conference wasn't until 6 p.m., I believe, yesterday. So I wasn't able to do press conference reaction yesterday. So quickly skip through the waffle at lunchtime. And let's hear what he's got to say. Don't look too happy with that question. What have they just asked him? And then we'll look ahead briefly to the game tonight. Arsenal against PSV Eindhoven. Ruud van Nistelrooy, the manager of PSV, would definitely get an interesting reception. On Zinchenko and Martinelli being ruled out, he said, no, they are not ruled out, but we will see tomorrow what we decide. Zinchenko, of course, has got this calf injury, and Martinelli apparently has got a cold. Me, personally, I wouldn't risk any of them. They didn't train yesterday, so clearly they're not 100%. Why would you risk playing Zinchenko off the back of a calf strain, and why would you play Martinelli when he's under the weather? There's no need to risk it. There's completely no need to do it. So yeah, for me, I would leave both players out. On how important it is to win the group, he said, really important. In Europe, when you have the chance to take advantage, you have to do it. It's always very unpredictable what can happen in the next game. You have to go away, and we know the level of the other teams. What I can say, watching PSV and what they are doing domestically, internationally, it will be really tough. As I said, people, if we win tonight, we're qualified, and we'll only need one win out of the last two games to guarantee that we win the group. PSV away next Thursday, Zurich at home the following Thursday. Zurich at home is light work. So if you win the group, you skip a round. You don't play in the last 32. You come in the last 16. If you finish second, you have to play another round in the last 32. And you can also be drawn against the Champions League dropout. And when you think Barcelona, Juventus, AC Milan, Atletico Madrid all look like they're going to drop down, I don't think you really want to play one of them teams this early in the competition. So it's important you win the group, you play a team that came second, and you keep it moving. So yeah, it's important that we win tonight, in my opinion. On whether the Man City game being postponed is beneficial, he said, I don't know. It is what it is. Obviously, the fixtures and amount of games that we have at the end of the day, we're going to have to play everybody, and we have this schedule, and we've adapted. Personally, I think we'd have been better off playing them. We would have played them yesterday. We're top of the league. We're in form. Majority of our team is fit. Man City just lost to Liverpool. They got a few injuries. I personally would have liked to have played Manchester City yesterday, which is when the game was supposed to go ahead. But it is what it is. Circumstances. We'll play them twice at the back end of the season. Let's see where we're at. It'll be interesting. On whether Ruud van Nistelrooy will get a hot reception, he said, I don't know. Obviously, it's a long way back. I wasn't involved at the club at that time, but you can tell the history of the two clubs and the rivalry that was generated at the time. They are exceptional, two exceptional teams. I don't know. I think there'll be a few boos for him. I don't think he'll get a warm welcome. That is for sure. Elliot Roberts, nyamming waffles, sipping syrup, sampling Stroop waffles on this Coleman music. Legendary, people, legendary. It's never a good time to play City, let's be honest. Yeah, I think we owe City one this year. I really do. I think we've got close the last couple of years, especially in the home game. I think this year we got to get the better of them, man. I think we owe Man City a defeat. On whether managers have a responsibility to set an example with their behaviour, he said, we do have a responsibility, not only with the refs as well, but with the game. We want to get this game played and respected. Obviously, to talk about any managers, I have enough just looking after my own behaviour. I think they're asking every manager now about Klopp and, his red card at the weekend and all of that. He said, it's very intense. You get heated. There are moments like in the last games. You've seen many incidents when VAR has to step in. There is a lot of controversy and a lot of moments when the result is in the air. It depends on a decision. It's not easy to manage, but of course we have a huge responsibility. Arteta doesn't go too mad, to be honest, compared to some of the other managers. Martin Keown will give him a warm welcome. Little forearm smash over the back of Van Nistelrooy's head, That guy D said, keep smashing the likes up. Big up, people. 1,500 of you tuned in. 43 on Twitch. C-Unit Business. Saliba's current market value, 130 million. Listen, just give him the contract and let's not even worry about what he's worth. Jesus hat-trick today. For me, Jesus should not be playing. At the most, you have him on the bench, just in case of emergencies, On whether he liked the rivalry that Arsenal had with Van Nistelrooy's Man United, he said, where we want to be is at the top and being the best team in the country. In order to do that, you're going to face teams that want to beat you. It's going to build that rivalry to a different level. We have already experienced things like that. On whether the manager's reaction on the touchline affects the players on the pitch, said that's more a question for the players. It's just a bit of a silly question. On clashing with Jurgen Klopp last season, he says, I don't have a clue if it affected the result. If we could have scored when we had a one-on-one situation with Lacazette. Oh My days. Man's calling out Lacazette after he left, you know. Man left and started dissing him. Man's moving like game in G Unit. Man said if Lacazette scored that one-on-one, I think it wouldn't affect it. Jeez, Lacazette holding corn off Arteta, you know. But because we conceded a set piece and then that happened in the second half, it did. So I don't know. Lacazette getting the clip let off on him, man. Like I said, brother, I ran so much for your team that, you know, the man started receding, losing here on top. And man said, yo, if that fraud Lacazette would have scored that one-on-one, we'd have been all right. Instead, I had to have an argument and a fight with Klopp because he can't finish his dinner. And if he's spoken to Gabriel about the incident against Liverpool, he said, yeah, it's okay. It's so interesting that situation completely fizzled out, innit? Everyone was like, what's Jordan Henderson said? We want to hear the FA investigate it. And it just fizzled out. The FA never reported anything. He's saying it's okay. Maybe it wasn't as serious as we was all kind of saying. Man said no Vaseline. Man's moving like NWA. He's not wrong, to be fair. You know, if that fraud would have finished, we'd have been all right. He wouldn't have had to have a scrap with Klopp. Man whipped out the 40 cal on Lacazette. On Zinchenko's injury being a worry, he said, I don't think so. Obviously, he's had a current injury in his calf. That's why he's been out for this period. On if Zinchenko will play before the World Cup, he says yes. Asking him about Gakpo. On Cody Gakpo, he said, yeah, he has qualities. I'm not here to talk about other players from other teams. Just ask him if he's going to sign him. That's all we want to know. Lack of threat, love him, but he couldn't score in a brothel. Nah, he'd miss, man. He'd miss somehow. But he'd work his socks off, though. I give him that. He tries hard. King's Football Show. The chat is hilarious. On Gabriel's competitive nature on the pitch, he said, if you know how to manage that situation or where the limits are within the rules, that's something very personal because of the character of a player. You always have to be aware that the line is very thin. And I said this the other day, people. There's a thin line between an aggressive centre-back and a clumsy centre-back. Don't cross that line. Don't become the clumsy one. Stay as the composed, aggressive one. And if Gabriel crossed that line against Leeds, he said, well, we were very close because the officials already made a decision that had to be turned down by VAR. Lack of respect. The new diss track from Arteta are out now on Coman music. Man's firing shots at Lacazette, you know. It's all going off, people. And if he's been able to relax after the Leeds game, he said, I did a lot. Oh, sounds like he had a good weekend after the Leeds game then. He said, on it being a hectic game against Leeds, he said, yeah, watching it back, there were some periods, especially in the second half, where we put ourselves in trouble. Then all the decisions that had to be overturned by VAR, it was very tense. We got what we wanted, and tomorrow will be a different game. Lack of finishing ability, man. I'm telling you, lack of finishing messed up everything. And if the mood in the dressing room is different this season, he said, yep, winning obviously helps, but I have no complaints. I think this is an exceptional group that is in a really good moment. We are enjoying the moment. We want to get better in a lot of things that we are doing, but I think we are on the right path. Definitely moving in the right direction, that is for sure. Arteta with the Arteta, I'm telling you, buddy, he went home to the wife. Sounds like he had a good weekend after the Leeds win. Mickey Ross, too many shots that he lost his voice. Rose, that's my nickname. He's moving mad. On Aaron Ramsdale's antics with the opposition fans, I don't know if anybody's seen the video. He squirts water out of his water bottle towards the Leeds fans. I think they were all giving him abuse because he played for Sheffield United. Sheffield United and Leeds have a rivalry. He said, I haven't noticed it. Sorry. Man said, look, if we do it, if we see a player, we will do it. Man's doing the Arsene Wenger. Man's saying, I didn't see it. Bro, we all saw it. It's all over socials. But I respect it. Defend your player. I didn't see it. On what Ramsdale needs to do to be England's number one, he said he needs to be the best that he can be for us. Then it's Gareth and his coaching staff that have to make that decision. Listen, I've said many times, sometimes it's difficult because I think Southgate trusts Jordan Pickford. Even though Pickford isn't great for Everton, he has done well for England. So I think if Pickford's fit, he'll be number one at the World Cup. But it is what it is. His time will come, Pickford, anyway, eventually. And if he would rather be playing PSV or Man City, he said, I don't have a choice. We have to play PSV, so we will play PSV. And if now would have been a good time to play City, he said, I don't know. We've known from weeks back this is the schedule and we need to play Europa. And what he thinks of PSV, he said, I think it's a really good team. I think what Ruder's done with his team, the way they play, you see the amount of goals they're scoring in their domestic league, the way they're performing in Europa as well. They're a dangerous team. And if he will rotate against PSV, we will make that decision tomorrow. Or that decision will obviously be today. Pope, no chance. No chance he starts the World Cup, in my opinion. Mickey Ross shots at the reporter. It's because Pickford is being Pickford. Oh. Michael, that is a dad joke, to be fair. That's the kind of thing I'd come out with. But, you know, fair play to you. Keeg said we will win the league. What, Premier League? Europa League? What league? Premier? Gunnar Graham, there was a question asked and answered in Spanish at the end of the press conference. I'd like to know what the question was about. I don't know what that was. Liz Truss resigns. Yep, she's in talks with Wolves. Maybe she's in talks with Tottenham after Conte, how he managed last night. Maybe she'll get the Spurs job. Last of them, copyright 2022. Bird's eye waffle. Pure waffle, people. Michael said he's a dad. I forgive you, man. When you become a dad, the jokes just go downhill. I don't know why. You find yourself funny as well. You actually laugh at your own jokes. Sometimes no one else laughs, though. It's crazy, people. It's what you have to do to survive. We need to rotate 100%. Weekend game is huge. Obviously, Southampton at the weekend. We spoke yesterday about the team that we would pick. I think we said, well, the one that I said, whether you agree. I said Turner in goal, Tierney at left back, Tomiyasu at right back, Gabriel and Holding at centre back. I'll go Xhaka, Lokonga, Fabio Vieira. I'll go Saka and Nketiah, Reece Nelson. A lot of people were saying that Saka needs the rest, but I do think we're going to have to play a few first-team players to beat them. This is going to be our hardest game of the competition so far. I don't think we can turn up with like Marquinhos, Nelson, Eddie and Nketiah, and just rotate everyone and beat them. I think they're going to have a little bit of quality that will trouble us. And the reason I would play Saka over Martinelli's got a cold, so I would give him the rest. Gabriel Jesus didn't look 100% on Sunday. I would give him the rest. Maybe put him on the bench in case we're struggling. Anthony said, not even your kids laugh at your jokes, but we still find them funny. They're underrated, man. They go over people's head. I'm like, didn't you get that? Well, I thought it was hilarious, but hey, it is what it is. We have to play Eddie and Marquinhos. Why are they reserves for? Listen, because for me, what would be worse for Arsenal? Playing a weak team, getting beat, then going to PSV next week, having to win to make sure we finish top of the group and having to play a strong team again. I think we can get away with playing 40% of our team maybe, beat them tonight. Next week, the pressure is a lot less, and then beat Zurich last game. You've won the group. You can rotate for the last 2 games, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it. So I think we are going to have to play a few of them. Big up Yasin, who said, looking forward to being a dad at the hospital as we speak. Hopefully we get our daughter later today. We'll be relying on your commentary. Hey, big up, man. Big congratulations to you, Yasin. Positive health for your daughter, and I hope you enjoy the birth. It is an overwhelming experience, I can't lie, but big up to you. People, just a bit of news, actually. Just got to let you know. Tonight, I will not be streaming the game, or definitely not at kickoff. Cruz has got a big academy game tonight. It kicks off at 5:30. Arsenal kicks off at 6. So I may be back around 7 o'clock. I've got 2 plans for tonight. So I'm going to let you know in the community, and we'll do one of them. If I get back for half-time, I might go live from half-time. If I get back later than half-time, I'm going to do a reaction video at full-time. So I won't be live for kickoff tonight at the watch-along. He's got a big game tonight. And I can't, he wants me to be there. I can't let his mum just take him. He needs them little bits of advice from me on the touchline. So I'm hoping the way I've timed it with the distance that I can maybe get back for half time and we go live at half time. If I am back too late, then I will watch the game and we will go live. We'll probably do a live stream, maybe around 8:30, 9 o'clock, once I've watched the whole game back. And then we'll do a reaction video at full time, people. So big up, appreciate everyone with the kind words in the comments. I'll let you know how he gets on. Man said Yasin not firing blanks. Fair play to him, man. Jackpot. Yeah, big up everyone for the kind words. I'll let you know how he gets on. I will be back on tonight. So I'll either be on at halftime or I'll be on around 8:30, 9 p.m. with a reaction video reacting to the game. I'll be watching the game, or listening to the game, should I say, in the car on the way back. So listen, appreciate everyone tuning in today. 1,600 of you in the chat now. 54 of you on Twitch. Big up. Curtis Lasso time, man. I'm telling you, I'll be there giving out instructions. Yo, come, let's go. Press, blah, blah, blah. He's a striker, Don. He's a striker. So big up to everyone. Enjoy the game. Hopefully I might see you at halftime. If not, I'll see you after the game. We'll do post-game reaction. I'll try and get Lorio and Fran on if they're about. Enjoy the rest of your day. Like the video, and let's hope Arsenal can collect the 3 points later on. I will see you all tonight, people. Bless.